Welcome to the Nike Hot Seat. I'm Emily Eman, chatting with our Nike volleyball athletes across the world to get to know them a little bit more and to dive deeper. And today I'm joined by Claire Chaussee, former Louisville star playing overseas in Italy. Claire, thank you so much for joining me. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited for this interview, so thank you for having me.
Of course. Claire, I kind of want to take it all the way back. I know you grew up in a small town in Wisconsin. What was your first memory of playing volleyball?
Oh goodness. Well, I took after my sister, so definitely like just watching her, going to her club practices and hitting a ball against the wall until like my arm fell off. But then I continued to keep going to that club, and that was like my first time playing was at the same club that she played for.
How much older is your sister than you?
4 years older.
Okay, so you were kind of doing what she was doing growing up. Did that spark your interest in playing volleyball?
It did. With if she didn't play volleyball, I probably wouldn't have played volleyball.
What
She
was it?
started, sorry, she
You're
started
good.
with soccer.
Okay.
So I started playing soccer and then she went into volleyball. So then I started playing volleyball. So
Were you ever able to play on some of her teams or her high school team?
no, I have never been on the same team as her, which is really sad because as soon as she left high school, I just came into high school. So we never got to be on the same team.
Well, fast forward a little bit, you played at Louisville and ended your career as the ACC Player of the Year as a first team All American. But I know it didn't exactly start out that way. Take me back to high school while you were being recruited. How did you end up at Louisville?
Well, there was a different coach there at the time, Ann Cordes. She was there, um, and she came down or she came up to one of the Chicago tournaments and met me, and within 2 weeks had offered me a scholarship at Louisville, and I quickly realized like that's where I want to be, and it came down to Louisville and another school, and I'm very glad I chose Louisville.
I know it wasn't all, smiles the entire time. I remember during the NCAA tournament last season, head coach Jenny Busboom Kelly said that your freshman year, you actually thought about quitting. Why'd you decide to stick with it?
Yeah, I I feel like it was the teammates around me and Danny and my parents actually kind of set me down separately and were like, you need to give it a real shot. Like one semester isn't enough. Like you need to like get through the spring and like enjoy the summer and then make your decision. So without them, I don't think I would have stayed playing, but I'm very thankful for that. So
I think it can be hard for anyone, whether you're playing a sport or not. Just your first semester, or even first year of college can be so difficult. It's a massive
yeah.
transition in life from, depending on your parents or that structure all the time. And then you get to college and it's completely different.
Yeah. I at the time was just going through a lot of stuff mentally too, and um just like how I said before, having those teammates and especially Tori Dilfer, I've mentioned this, I don't know if in an interview or not, but um she helped me a lot through that time, and yeah, there's a lot of change, but for any freshman like going through college, if you're like watching this right now, just know that it does get better. It just takes time.
What was key to your growth during college from, being recruited by Louisville? I know you've mentioned before that you didn't have a ton of other offers, but you really thought that Louisville was a place for you to 5 years later becoming the 2022 ACC Player of the Year. What was key to that growth?
I think just never being satisfied and always wanting to do more. So in the gym, like getting those extra reps and, coming from high school, a lot of girls are like the best at their high school. And then you show up to your college and you might be one of the worst. And that's okay. It's just you have to keep pushing and keep pushing. And then once you are in a good position, in a good spot, like you can't just stop and be satisfied with what you're doing. And I think Louisville recruits a lot of gritty players. So in practices at Louisville, it was never just nonchalant, like, oh, yay, practice. It was like, we're going hard every single day. So I think just having, again, those teammates by you and coaches who want to push you and make you better.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think anyone from the outside even knows that Louisville is known for its grit, known for its hard work. You know, you guys might not be the tallest team, but you're going to outwork everyone. I'm wondering your fifth year. So this past season in 2022, you assumed a bigger role after Anna DeBeer went down with injury. What was key to growing during that time and becoming the player that we all saw during the 2022 season?
I think the key was just not getting in my own head, and to start that is like not worrying about myself. Like, how can I make sure that everyone else around me is comfortable, and how can I push them to be better? What can I do to make them look great, make them look good? So again, those extra reps, I can't say that enough. I don't know how many extra passing reps I got, but that was another key thing, is making sure our passing was pretty solid, because Anna DeBeer is a great passer. So we needed to step up in that position.
Well, during your time at Louisville, you broke attendance records. You went to Final Fours, Louisville's first ever national championship match appearance. How have you seen this program been able to grow and continue to get better each year?
It's been insane to watch, and it's even crazier looking back now, like that I was a part of that. Um, but when I came into college, I didn't, the Final Four wasn't really on my mind. It was just like, oh, like I'm in college, like this is so cool. What can this program do? But I never had a Final Four in my head until we were in one, my junior year or senior year, I don't remember. And but it's been really cool to see the change and to see the changes that the coaches are making. And they always ask for feedback at the end of seasons, like what can we do to make you better? And for them, focusing on my mental health, my freshman year was really important to me. And I think they do a really good job about just getting to know us as players, but also off the court. Like we all go up and eat lunch with them and we get to know them personally. So it makes it for a more comfortable place to allow growth to happen.
Such a big percentage of college students, but especially college athletes, deal with those, mental health roadblocks at times, and they deal with it in different ways. What were one or two ways that you worked on your mental health, whether that was on the court or off the court?
I wasn't putting my faith really first at all. So Tori helped me do that. And I think that was the biggest thing, biggest change that I made. And just talking about it really helped. Freshman year, I kind of like just kept everything in, didn't want anyone to know that I was upset. Um, but I would say my biggest changes were talking about it and having something else to look at, like faith, or if that wants to be like a hobby for someone, just doing other things.
After you were done at Louisville, you started playing professionally pretty much right away in Italy. How quickly did everything move once that season was over?
So after the championship game that night, my agent was there in Omaha, and I basically signed with a team that night. And within, I think, a week and a half, January 1st, I was on a plane here. So it happened very, very fast. It's kind
How
of
was
insane.
that transition for you? I mean, that is lightning speed. I feel like most people after, the championship or just after their season's done, take vacation for a little bit, but you were like, I want to get right back into it.
Mhm. It was a very dramatic change, especially I don't know Italian. Um, I'm living alone. I haven't lived alone ever in my life. In college, I had 4 or 5 roommates every year, so it was a really huge change. I had to get comfortable with being alone, which I normally don't like being alone, but overall, it's been really fun, a really cool experience, but a huge change, especially really fast.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself, both as a player and as a person since going pro?
Oh, goodness. I feel like I've learned that in pro, they're not just gonna like wait around for you to kind of like figure things out. They're gonna push you. And for someone like me, I love that. but when you're here alone at first, not knowing really anyone, it can be intimidating. So just knowing that, okay, what happened my freshman year of college, like it's gonna take time.
Mhm.
And I know that. So I think just what I've learned is I have to remember what I've gone through and what I can get through. But yeah, I don't know.
On an off day, say you have an entire day off. I know you're doing rehab, all that. What can we find you doing?
Oh, trying to find the coolest nearest city. We get one off day a week normally, maybe two if we're lucky. So I visit Raquel a lot. We try to Raquel, she plays an hour and a half away from here. So we try to get together. Um, we go on walks. We um go to really nice restaurants, things like that. The food here, amazing. And I always try to get to the sea if I can. It's 30 minutes from my place, so I love.
What's your favorite Italian dish?
Oh goodness, I love the bolognese
Mm,
from. I was actually in Bologna when I had that, and I think that was the best.
I mean, it's got to be. Come on. Where's your
Yeah,
favorite place that you've traveled around in Italy?
my favorite place I think would be Florence,
Okay.
but I have the Amalfi Coast coming up and Rome, so it could change.
Ooh, all right. Well, I know you document it all very well on your Instagram. And I know aside from volleyball, you're also a photographer. When did you get into photography?
My mom kind of was into it and took my senior pictures and stuff. I think that sparked me, and I've also always loved photos and taking pictures. I'm that annoying girl who's like, "Let's take a picture," and everyone's like, "No." But that's how I kind of got into it. But then I was with a photographer in Louisville 2 summers ago and followed her along with weddings and stuff like that. So that's when I really decided like this is what I want to do with my life after volleyball.
When did you own your first camera?
So um I think sophomore year of college, but I was using my mom's in high school.
Yeah. So post volleyball or maybe during volleyball, where do you see photography going for you?
I don't know if it'll work with volleyball because weddings are normally on the weekends and games are also on the weekends. But after volleyball, I would love to have my own studio wherever that may be. I don't really care, but hopefully in like a bigger city. And then just doing weddings, maybe elopements, and maybe even destination weddings. I don't know,
Yeah.
but a lot of unknowns, but hopefully it all works out.
Well, now you know all the good spots in Italy. So if we're going out there, you can just point, hey, go to this place or this place. I know it's absolutely beautiful.
Exactly.
Claire, thank you so, so much for joining me. It's been an honor to get to know you a little bit more and to show everyone a little bit more of your personality and background. So thank you so, so much.
Thank you for having me.